This is Bobby Kraft coming to you live on SNNLive, and I'm here at the Toronto Resource Investment Conference 2013. With me is Ian Lambert of Grizzly Discoveries, that's GZD on the TSX Venture and GZDIF on the OTC markets. Ian, welcome to SNNLive.
Thanks for having me here, Bobby.
So, it's been a little bit since we last talked to Grizzly. Can you please tell me, for my audience, can you give me a little bit of background on what Grizzly does?
Yes, Grizzly is a junior resource company that's, of course, suffering a little bit in this difficult time, but we have some great assets and we're still strong financially. We're based out of Edmonton, Alberta, though I live personally in Toronto. And we have two different kinds of projects. We have a large land position in southeastern British Columbia, which is copper, gold, silver type deposits, covering over 70 kilometers of strike length for our property. And we also have a large land position along the Alberta-Saskatchewan border where we have potash claims.
So can you tell me a little bit more about what's going on in the potash market? And why potash?
Well, potash is a product that is heavily used as a fertilizer throughout the world, and Canada is a big player in the production of potash, and so is the Russian and Belarus groups. Recently, the Russian and Belarus groups got into a little bit of a war, and they've had a significant negative impact in the short term on the price of major potash companies and potentially on the price of potash itself. However, if one looks beyond that and looks at the long-term opportunity with potash, the world demographics are such that the population is growing, the amount of arable land is declining, the demand by everybody in the emerging countries is for a higher quality nutritional diet, and this is going to result in a growing demand for potash fertilizers to take care of a declining amount of arable land as we move forward. So maybe by 2020, the production capacity that exists today will be insufficient to meet the demand at that time.
And where does Grizzly fit into this equation at this moment?
Well, we have a large land position, over 900,000 acres along the border of Alberta and Saskatchewan, that's sitting as a footprint over top of the prairie evaporite area where potash is in existence. There's historical drilling to evidence that, and in one area right adjacent to our lands there was a historical well drilled that had almost 22 meters of potash. So we know that the product exists, and our job right now is to develop the resource there to prove this thing up that could be eventually taken into production.
And Ian, what's your background?
Well, my background is I've been in the resource sector for a long time. I've been in oil and gas, I've been in gold exploration, and a number of other areas over my career involved in public company administration. But the last company I worked with was a company called Tradewinds Ventures, which we built a resource of over 4 million ounces of gold and sold it to Detour Gold Corporation. I joined Grizzly this year to bring some new focus on getting our projects moving forward, and what we're planning to do is finance the potash project as a separate item. We'll either do it through a joint venture or spin it out as a separate company and take that public on its own right. And then we will also work on raising money for Grizzly as market conditions warrant, and working on our copper, gold, silver projects in southeast BC.
Sounds like you're going to be a busy man over the next couple months.
Well, I think so, and I think that we're seeing here in September of 2013 some optimistic signs that the markets are starting to improve. It's going to take a while for the market to come back the way it was a few years ago, but I'm optimistic that money can be raised and we have great projects to develop going forward.
And where can my audience find out more information about Grizzly Discoveries?
Well, we have a website, www.grizzlydiscoveries.com. That's probably the first place to look, and any information he needs there. We have our presentations there, we have maps and other things like that, and contact information to get a hold of us. We welcome any inquiries. Our email addresses are I'm Lambert at grizzlydiscoveries.com. If anybody wants to send me an email, I'd be more than happy to get back to them and tell them more about our company.
You heard it here, folks. Email him, call him, watch this interview. Go find out more information about this man's company. My name is Bobby Kraft, and I'm coming to you live on SNNLive, and I'm here at the Toronto Resource Investment Conference 2013. With me again is Ian Lambert of Grizzly Discoveries. That's GZD on the TSX Venture and GZDIF on the OTC markets. Ian, thank you again for coming on to SNNLive.
Well, thanks for having me here.